will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
The dragons dance, and men are like dust under their feet.
There will be no mercy!
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Icenfire here, and welcome to the channel. With the penultimate episode for Season 2 now in the books, we now take a look at the season finale of House of the Dragon. After Episode 7 ended with Rhaenyra receiving some much-needed reinforcements and some brand new dragon riders in Ulf the White and Hugh Hammer, it looks like we are now heading for a sprint towards the finish line. And if the trailer for the Season 2 finale is any indication, it looks like this final episode is going to be introducing some heavy fan-favorited characters. And by the looks of it, some all-new dragons as well. The Episode 8 trailer starts off with some dialogue from Sir Crispin, stating that the dragons dance, and men are like dust beneath their feet, and how he feels that they are all marching towards their annihilation. And boy does he not realize just how right he is. We also get a few shots of some very interesting and very revealing scenes that we will be getting in the final episode, starting with another shot of the Lannister army on the move departing from the Golden Tooth, followed by one of the most exciting shots in the entire trailer in a scene that I am probably looking forward to seeing in the finale the most, and that is, of course, the introduction of Cregan Stark's Winter Wolves. And on top of that, I have been hearing whispers that Cregan Stark himself might even be appearing in this final episode as well. But either way, I am super excited to meet the Winter Wolves, and hopefully their leader, Roddy the Ruin, who I believe will not only be a heavy fan-favorite character for everything he does during the war, but just for his simple savage nature as well. Fans of House Stark, and of the North in particular, are really going to enjoy Roddy the Ruin and the Winter Wolves. And the Wolves themselves will go on to be a massive asset for Rhaenyra's ground forces, proving to be one of their most effective fighting forces on the ground. A fact that Crispin Cole will learn very early on as we see the Winter Wolves approaching the twins in the Season 2 finale trailer. We did see a few episodes back Jace departed for Dragonstone and headed to the twins to treat with House Frey in order to win their crossing, which he successfully did. Which in turn will now allow the forces of House Stark to make it into the Riverlands uncontested. But next we see another very revealing shot of the Hightower host marching north from Old Town, and with it, our very first look at Tessarion the Blue Queen, the dragon of Alicent's third and youngest son, Daeron the Daring, which of course is a highly anticipated character that fans have been waiting a very long time to see. In Season 1, we unfortunately don't get a single mention of Daeron the Daring, leaving a lot of fans wondering when or if he will be introduced on the show. But luckily, pretty early on in Season 2, they start laying the groundwork for Daeron's arrival. But I must say, I thought it was very surprising that they chose to reveal something this big in a trailer alone, and wouldn't save a reveal like that for the actual episode. Especially considering a good portion of the fandom were not expecting to see Daeron until Season 3, so it's a little disappointing that they chose to reveal that in a trailer, but still very exciting that we are going to get our first glimpse at Daeron and Tessarion. And judging by this very quick glimpse, it's looking like Tessarion is looking every bit as glorious as I pictured her. But next, we see a shot of Rhaenyra feasting with the Dragonseeds on Dragonstone, along with her son Jace, as she states that she trusted them with a power that few have known, and how they should strike while they still have the advantage. Thanks to Rhaenyra gaining 3 new dragon riders, they now vastly outnumber the Greens in terms of dragon power, with Rhaenyra having 7 dragon riders on her side, versus the Greens' 3. And even with the might of Vhagar, the Greens stand no chance against those numbers. And during Rhaenyra's dialogue, we see some very interesting shots of the dragons heading towards Harrenhal, followed by a shot of Vermithor flying over the forces of the Riverlands. So it looks like the Blacks are consolidating all of their power under one banner and under one location at Harrenhal. As next, we see the Sea Snake consolidating some of his power as well, as we get a great shot of Alan of Hull getting ready to board a ship, in some phenomenal-looking Velaryon armor. So it's going to be very interesting to see what role the Velaryon forces play in the finale, and if they will be setting up the Battle of the Gullet to maybe take place pretty early in Season 3. But next we get a shot of Larys speaking to Aegon, stating that the Prince Regent is angry and there's no telling what he will do. So it seems like more and more people on the side of the Greens are beginning to fear Aemond more and more. As next we get a shot of Alicent speaking to Aemond, stating that he wants to rule the Seven Kingdoms, yet he brings nothing but ruin and death. And at this point, Alicent is definitely aware of the person that Aemond is turning into, and probably fears him herself. And if we look behind Alicent, we see that Helaena is also present in this scene as well, and she does look a little bit distraught, which could potentially be connected to one of the following scenes we get in the trailer of Aemond asking Helaena to fly Dreamfire into battle with him, as we get another shot of Aemon atop of Vhagar, stating that they will answer outrage with outrage, as we see in the distance what appears to be a small coastal town that Aemond and Vhagar have just recently burnt. We also get a very interesting shot of Daemon at Harrenhal consolidating his forces as well, as we hear Sir Alfred Broom, who has finally arrived at Harrenhal, stating that while you have raised an army, Rhaenyra has faltered. So it looks like Sir Alfred might just be trying to cozy up to Daemon, who he maybe sees as the stronger leader. As next, we hear Daemon delivering a rousing battle speech to his men, stating that for every one of us who falls, 100 of them, and there will be no mercy. During which we get some very interesting shots of the upcoming finale, including a shot of Adam of Hull suiting up in his battle armor, followed by a shot of a fleet of ships, and what could potentially be our first look at the Triarchy, which we do know will be making an appearance in this final episode. As in the very next scene, we see our first look at Shakaro Lothar, the head admiral of the Triarchy fleet, as we see what appears to be Tywin Lannister getting slammed into the mud. We did see a few episodes prior that Aemond did send Sir Tywin to go treat with the Triarchy in hopes of convincing them to break the Sea Snake's blockade around King's Landing. And who knows, maybe Sir Tywin is getting slammed into the mud during some sort of wrestling match where he is trying to win the Triarchy's favor. But next we get another shot of Rhaena seemingly trying to chase down Sheepstealer in the Vale, followed by a shot of Corlys Velaryon in full armor heading to a ship, which is likely the same ship that Alan of Hull was heading to earlier in the trailer. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Velaryon's role is in this final episode. But next, the trailer ends with a quick shot of Daemon addressing his troops, followed by a very interesting scene between Sir Gawain and Sir Crispin, as Sir Gawain raises his sword to Crispin's throat, a scene I am really looking forward to seeing play out. And definitely let me know down in the comment sections, how do you think this scene between Gawain and Sir Crispin will play out? But there we have it, folks. Only one episode left in Season 2 of House of the Dragon. And of course, the biggest question going into this final episode is exactly where will they choose to end Season 2 off on? And will there be one more battle in this final episode? We have seen them laying the groundwork for some very interesting events in terms of foreshadowing the Battle of the Gullet. We've also seen some very interesting foreshadowing for the Battle of the Red Fork, as they constantly are showing us this Lannister army on the move, and now with the Winter Wolves coming south, there is even more potential for there being a Red Fork battle. And now, seeing Tessarion and the Hightower forces moving up north perfectly sets up the Battle of the Honeywine as well. But definitely let me know your thoughts and comments down below. What big events do you think we will see in the finale, if any, and where do you see Season 2 ending as a whole? But that is going to do it for our breakdown of the Season 2 finale trailer, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
We'll hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.